Good afternoon, everyone. It is so good to see you and to be with you today. I am Senator Angela Williams Graves, representing the 21st Senate District, where we do good work on your behalf. And I am excited to be here with you today. We have a little bit of a new format that we are curating, and we're not quite done with it. So you're probably going to have a little bit of What's Up Wednesdays combined with the digital download. But I want to make sure that you all know that we are going to be coming to you every third Wednesday at noon on all of our social media platforms as the district download. We're working through bringing the two platforms together, making sure that you are able to get information that you so vitally need, and that we are helping to educate you and keep you informed and make sure that you know what's going on in the district and what's going on in my office. Again, I'm Senator Angela Williams Graves, representing the 21st Senate District, where we do good work on your behalf. So guess what time it is, y'all? Guess what time it is? It is election season. It's election time. And we've got a couple of things going on. But before we get to election season, let's talk about the last fall fundraiser of the year. This is my fall fundraiser. We have fun. We put the fun in fundraising, and this is Birds Barbecue and Bourbon with a side of R&B. And this year we're going to have a little dancing. We're going to have a DJ. We're going to have great food. We're going to have a great bourbon, and we are just going to have a good time. And sometimes people say, well, you know, you're not on the ballot. And you're not on the ballot. You're not up for re-election. Why do we do this? Why are you fundraising? And I'm fundraising because being in a safe district allows me to be able to be bold. It allows me to be able to say the things that need to be said, right? Sometimes when you're on the ballot, you have to kind of, craft things a little bit differently, but for me, it allows me to do the things that I need to do for my district and say the things that I need to say for my constituents and be the representative that folks need me to be. And in order to do that, we still have to fundraise. I don't do any of this by myself. I don't do any of this on my own. I have a whole team that works all year round to make sure that folks in our district and throughout the Commonwealth are taken care of. And we prioritize our district. We make sure that we are in the places and spaces that people need us to be in, and that we are giving you information that is valuable. And so this is our final fundraiser, actually for the year, really, that we're going to be hosting. It's going to be Friday. It's this Friday. And guess what this Friday is? It's also early voting. So go vote early. Go hang out with your friends. Encourage your friends to vote early. And then come on down to Birds Barbecue and Bourbon at 330 West 22nd Street. We're going to be right in Ghent. There's great parking. We had a good time last year. We're going to have a better time this year. And the wing and sip tickets start at $40. There's also sponsorship opportunities that start at $250. And every dollar that you donate helps us to get our message out. It helps us to stay involved in our community. It gives me the opportunity to say the thing that needs to be said. And it also allows us to be able to help a lot of community organizations that would otherwise go overlooked because they don't have the deep pockets. And we're not deep pockets, but we can contribute and we can help. So join us on September 19th, this Friday, for Birds Barbecue and Bourbon. And we promise you that you're going to be able to have a good time. The link is on the screen for our Act Blue. It is secure.actblue.com /donate/BB&B 2025. So get your wing and sip ticket today. And I promise y'all already know I like good food. I like a good time. I like a good drink. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to have good food. We're going to have a good time, and we're going to have good drinks. All right. So I look forward to seeing you on Friday from 6 to 8. Then now early voting. Early voting begins this Friday, September 19th. And Friday is a big day, right? September 19th, and it ends on November 1st. And so you will be able to vote at your local voting, not at your local voting precinct, but at your state board of elections office. Usually that is in City Hall. And I know for Norfolk, that is in City Hall. And so you can go down to City Hall in Norfolk. There is no cost to park if you are voting. There's also, if you can't make the walk from the parking garage or the parking area, I should say, to the voting circle and into City Hall, it's a little bit of a walk. You can drive right up in the circle. And when you drive up in the circle, you'll see the sign that says, call this number to vote. And someone from the elections office will come out. They will bring you and they will get your ID, and then they will bring you a ballot, and you can safely and securely cast your vote. And so we want to make sure that everybody knows that Friday is early voting. Why is early voting important? Early voting is important, number one, because you get it out of the way. You just go, you vote, you get it out of the way. You don't have to worry about it anymore. It's done. If you already know who you're voting for, I already know who I'm voting for. Come hell or high water, these are people I'm voting for. And I'm going to tell you who they are in just a minute. But these are the folks I'm voting for. And so I don't care what happens. I'm voting for these people. So you want to make sure that you are a day one voter, that you vote early on September 19th at your local state board of elections office, which is usually in City Hall. And again, for Norfolk residents, it's in City Hall. If you can't make the walk, you can ride up in the circle. Someone will come out for you, and they will take your information. They will bring you back a ballot, and they will make sure that your vote is cast. If you're parking in the parking garage, again, you don't have to pay for parking. When you exit, just let them know that you were here to vote, and they will wave the little arm up and you can go on about your way. The second reason why early voting is important is because anything could happen to you between now and election day. And I don't mean, like I'm not casting spells on anybody or anything like that, but I have the same saying that you could get hit by a bus. You don't know. Anything could happen. And so we want to make sure that your vote is cast, right? We want to make sure that you get this done. An emergency could happen on election day, and it prevents you from getting to your precinct. So anything could happen, not just getting hit by a bus, but anything could happen between now and election day. And so you have time. You have time to put voting on your schedule between September 19th and November 1st. So when you hear people say make a plan, that's what we're talking about. Make sure that you are making a plan to vote. Put voting on your calendar, just like you would put a doctor's appointment, an interview, or anything that is important to you. If voting is important to you, and it should be, then you want to make sure that you have put voting on your calendar and that you go and you cast your vote. Look, people died for us to have the right to vote. There are people, and y'all know who I'm talking about, who think that the civil rights movement was a big mistake. And the civil rights movement pretty much basically gave Black folks and women the right to vote. All right, without you having to count jelly beans and all kinds of foolishness. Okay, it gave us the right to vote, and so many other things came along with the civil rights movement. But there are people who believe that that was a mistake. All right, and when you don't vote, you fuel that. So I want you to make sure that you take advantage of the rights and privileges that are afforded to you, that so many people fought for and so many people died for, that we don't take this opportunity for granted. You want to make sure that you are going to vote. The third reason why it is important for you to vote early is, guess what you don't get anymore after you vote? You stop getting mail for the most part, because your name comes off of the voter, the list that is provided to candidates. So candidates get a list of all the registered voters and all those kinds of things, and we send out mail to those registered voters, the people who consistently vote is who we send mail to. If you haven't been getting mail, it's because you probably haven't been consistently voting. But we send mail to those folks who consistently vote. And once you vote, we renew that list every single time we get ready to send out a mailer. Most people do. And so the list gets smaller and smaller over time because people have voted. And there's no point in us sending you literature asking for your vote when you've already voted, regardless of who you voted for. We don't want to do that. So you come off the mailing list in most cases of candidates sending out mail. So because you've already voted. So make sure that you make a plan. Make sure that if it's your calendar on your phone, if it's a digital calendar in your email, if it's a paper calendar that you put on your wall, if it's a sticky note that you need to put on your refrigerator, make sure that you vote. All right. Now, voter registration. If you are not a registered voter, or if you are new to Virginia, then Virginia has what's called same-day voter registration, which begins on October 24th. That is 10 days prior to Election Day. So same-day registration is only available at the Office of Elections, which in Norfolk is where you would go to cast your vote anyway. It's available at the Office of Elections. It's the City Hall building, Suite 100. That's 810 Union Street, if I'm not mistaken. It's 810 Union Street, Suite 100, which is on the first floor. All right. And it's available from 8:30 a.m. until 5:00 p.m. You can register in person or online up until October 23rd. All right. Get that. You can register on in person or online up until October 23rd. And then you can register. You don't have to worry about anything. You're good to go in person. If you wait until October 24th, then you do have to do it in person. You can't do it online, and you have to go to the Office of Elections. Or if your city is hosting satellite locations for you to vote, which Norfolk normally does, if your city is hosting satellite locations for you to vote, then you can early vote. You can register at the satellite location. You can also register and vote same day at your precinct on Election Day. But y'all know I'm a church girl, and there's this church song that says, "Don't wait till the battle is over, shout now." I always tell you, don't wait until Election Day, vote now. So make sure that you either register and vote early, that you register and vote in that time frame, or that you go ahead and vote starting on September 19th. It is super, super important that you do that. Then here and again, you can register in person at the State Board of Elections office up until October 23rd. Same day registration and voting starts on October 24th and runs through Election Day. And so you want to make sure that you have all these dates in person. Now, the other piece that's not on here, that should be on here, is absentee ballots. If you want to request an absentee ballot, you have until October 23rd to request an absentee ballot, and you can actually request that absentee ballot at your local Office of Elections on the up until October 23rd. You can do that up until October 23rd. Request your absentee ballot. You can call them or you can email them. And I apologize, I don't have that information, but we'll get a slide uploaded with that absentee ballot information on here as well for you for voter registration. And then as far as who are we voting for? Who are we voting for? We are voting for the next governor of Virginia, Abigail Spanberger. That is who I have endorsed. I have worked with Abigail, talked to Abigail, campaigned for Abigail. And of the two choices, I believe Abigail is the best qualified person who shares my values and what's important to her is important to me. Abigail Spanberger is that person. And if we share values, any of you looking, listening, if we share values, then I'm asking you to vote for Abigail Spanberger for governor of Virginia. If you have had your head in the sand and you don't know who Abigail Spanberger is, then you can go to her website, abigailspanberger.com. and you can find out all about her. But she has served in Congress. She's a former CIA agent. She is a mom and a wife and an incredible person who has put herself out to run for governor of Virginia, because we need to make sure that Virginia is going in the right direction. We don't need radical folks. We don't need people who are going to support job cuts for Virginians. We don't need people who are going to support higher prices for Virginia. We don't need people who are going to support only support freedom of speech when it's the speech that they want to hear. We want to make sure that all of Virginia is protected, that all of Virginia is prospering, and Abigail Spanberger is the candidate to ensure that that happens. So visit abigailspanberger.com. If you haven't heard of her, I don't even know why you wouldn't, but if you haven't heard of her, now you have. Please go and visit her website, learn more about her. Unlike the other side, Abigail has put forward plans for Virginia. She has put in writing plans for Virginia. And in order to carry out those plans for Virginia, whether it's housing or childcare or cost of living or energy costs or whatever, in order for her to be able to carry forth those plans, she needs to win this election. Now, I'm going to address the elephant in the room. Some of you may be saying, well, what about the Black lady that's running? I mean, why are you not supporting her? I don't support radical agendas, no matter what color the candidate is. I don't support people who want to cherry pick what kind of free speech is acceptable. I don't support candidates who want to, who don't feel like that who you love is unacceptable if they don't approve. I don't support candidates who say that, folks losing jobs is okay. They'll be all right. Well, yeah, you're going to feel a little bit of pain, but it'll be all right. I don't support that. Okay. And I don't care who the candidate is, whether they're Black or white or pink or green or purple. I support folks who want to work for all Virginians, who want to ensure that all Virginians have the ability to exercise freedom of speech, who want to make sure that all Virginians are working, who want to make sure that every Virginian's family is prosperous. That's the candidate I support. And that candidate is Abigail Spanberger. So if you're wondering why the Black lady not supporting the Black lady, that's the reason why. All skin folk ain't your kin folk. All right, now we're moving on. For lieutenant governor, we are supporting Senator Ghazala Hashmi. Ghazala is an amazing candidate for lieutenant governor, and I have had the opportunity to work with her for the last 2 years in the Senate. 3 years prior, I'm working with her a little bit in the House, but more closely in the Senate for the last 2 years. And Ghazala, one thing I can tell you about Ghazala is Ghazala comes prepared. Ghazala is always prepared she chairs her committee. She comes I was going to say she comes to council. She comes to session prepared. She is always, always, always prepared when she comes to the floor, when she comes to her committee meetings. And she is the candidate that I have endorsed for lieutenant governor. Again, she shares values of making sure that there's opportunity for everyone, for making sure that our schools are safe and that our children get the best learning opportunities possible. Ghazala is the candidate to do that. And so I am asking you to vote for Ghazala Hashmi for lieutenant governor. And if you don't know Ghazala, visit her website, ghazalaforvirginia.com. ghazalaforvirginia.com. You will find out so much information about her. And I will tell you this, one of the other things that I love about Ghazala is she is an avid reader. She quotes books like I can quote scripture, and that's really impressive to me. And so for every situation or circumstance, she can always bring an analogy from something that she has read. And she's very well read, a lover of literature and a lover of Virginians. And so that is why I am supporting Ghazala Hashmi for lieutenant governor. And then finally, my friend, Jay Jones. Jay Jones is the Democratic nominee for Attorney General. He is also I've supported Jay from the beginning. He has been he's had my endorsement since the primary when he ran for Attorney General. And Jay continues to be a solid candidate fighting for Virginians, not one who is going to take marching orders from Donald Trump, not one who is going to concede the goodwill of Virginia to Donald Trump, not one who's going to just overlook the law as if it doesn't exist for Donald Trump. Jay is going to fight for every single Virginian and our rights, our children and our future. And so that is why I am supporting Jay Jones. Jay is a friend of mine. I've known him forever, and his family. And so I know without a shadow of a doubt that Jay will do right by the people of Virginia. And so I want to make sure that if you don't know Jay, visit jjones.com, and make sure that we are getting, that you're voting for Jay Jones, someone who's going to fight for Virginia, not stand with the current presidential administration. I got hair in my face. There we go. Okay. That was driving me crazy, y'all. And then lastly, I want to make sure that you all are aware of our constituent services here in the 21st Senate District. If you have questions, if you have issues, we can create dialogues for you with state agencies and other community resources. We can submit inquiries on your behalf. Understand that none of these agencies work for us in terms of my office directly, right? So there are processes. But what I promise you is that when the senator's office calls or emails, those processes speed up just a little bit, and folks kind of take a second look at whatever your issue is. We can connect you with local and congressional representatives. We can request that an agency consider or reconsider your inquiry. And if you have bill ideas, we can take a look at those as well. We are putting together coming up in October. It's almost the end of the month. The end of this month, coming up in October, we are putting together our bills for the next session. And then if you have resolutions, if there's a community member that has done outstanding work, if there's somebody that's having a milestone birthday, or a couple that's having a milestone anniversary, or someone that you just feel like deserves recognition for all the hard work that they do, please let us know, because we have a resolution process that goes through the General Assembly session come January, and then we can have those voted on. And what folks don't know is that resolutions actually become a part of the official record of the Commonwealth of Virginia because they get voted on in the General Assembly, so that you will have the opportunity to enshrine that person or that organization in the history of the Commonwealth of Virginia. If you have a milestone church anniversary or organization anniversary, please let us know. If you're in Norfolk or based in Norfolk, we can help you. If you're not, we can get you with the legislator that is it that your organization or church is in their district, and they can put forward that resolution for you. The other, that is called a commending resolution. The second resolution that we have is called a memorial resolution. The memorial resolutions are for acknowledging the life of someone who was meaningful to you, someone who was meaningful to the community. We can put forward memorial resolutions. There's a process for that. We can put forward memorial resolutions for those loved ones that you may have that pass away. And so in 2026, it would be anyone who passed away in 2025, okay, up until there is a deadline cutoff. So if they pass away in 2026, it depends on the date that they pass, if we're able to get them in the 2026 session, or if we have to wait until the 2027 session, because these go through a voting process, again, just like the commending resolutions, where we honor the life of that individual and their life's work and various things that they've done are outlined in that memorial resolution to memorialize their lives in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And again, that too becomes part of the history of the Commonwealth of Virginia. So if you have folks who have passed away this year and you want to memorialize them, if you have organizations that are doing really good work, or they're celebrating a milestone anniversary, or if it's an individual who is celebrating a milestone birthday, it's someone that, again, is being impactful in the community, please let us know. Send us an email. I know the email is really small there, but it's Senator Williams Graves at senate.virginia.com. And that Virginia is spelled all the way out. So it's Senator Williams Graves at senate.virginia.com. That is the official email for all of our official business in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And scrolling down, you'll see info@norfolksenator.com. You can use that email address as well. It's scrolling across the bottom of the screen. You can use that one as well, and we'll get the information from you so that we can get this uploaded and ready to go for the 2026 session. Donate. So we're asking again, we do good work on your behalf, but good work is not done for free. And so again, even in a safe district, we need funds to operate our office. We need funds to be able to make sure that we are able to do all of the things that we're called upon to do in the district. And we got to pay our folks too. All right. They don't work for free. They come into the office just about every day and they work on your behalf. And so we're asking that we continue to ask that you donate that is our general donation link. You can scan it. If you screenshot it and just touch it, it'll take you to the Act Blue page to donate to us in a general sense. And then we have $5 Fridays through the month of September. We did this August and September this year, $5 Fridays, where we have different themes to show you how your donations make an impact in what we do for the community. And that's so important. The September theme is fueling the momentum, aiding the process that leads to progress. And so with your help, we can do that. So we ask you there to donate $5, $10, $15, $25 as a recurring donation. Put us as a line item in your home, in your monthly budget, right? And donate that to us, because a little bit collectively together is a lot. And then I want to remind you, I want to end where we began, and that is with Birds, Bourbon, and Barbecue. Birds, Barbecue, and Bourbon. Lord, I got it all wrong. Birds, Barbecue, and Bourbon on Saturday, September 19th from 6 to 8 p.m. Your wing and sip tickets are just $40. Come have good food, have a good time, have a good drink, and have a good dance. All right. So make sure that you get your tickets. If you have questions, just email our office. We'll send you the link. Lastly, thank you so much for all that you do. Thank you for allowing me to serve you. If you need help in any fashion from our office, please feel free to reach out via email or call us at 757-524-4941, 757-524-4941, and we will do our very best to help you. I want you to remember that you are a walking, talking, wait a minute, hold on. Let's get this here so I can tell you and look you in your eyeballs. You are a walking, talking, living, breathing miracle, and I love you. And don't let anybody else tell you differently. Until next time, I am Senator Angela Williams Graves, representing the 21st Senate District, where we do good work on your behalf. It is an honor to serve you. It is an honor to be with you, and I will see you soon. See you in the district.